You don't want to be in my video, Jamie?
I don't care.
Good. All right, we're back from the party. And so we're in our little RV parked here in their street. There's a cul-de-sac over there. And so we partied out and came home. The party's still going on.
We're waiting for them to come home.
And so, but they have to clean up and everything, so I bet it's going to be a long time. You could go shopping. Do you want to go shopping?
No.
He doesn't want to go shopping. I don't either. I'm too tired. But look at, Jamie, how'd you like your shoes? Your Teemu shoes?
I wore these once before. They're good.
They said they hurt your feet, but I think they're very cute shoes.
I don't think these were the ones that were hurting my feet.
Because I love these. They look really nicer on you than your old tennis shoes. He doesn't like to tie, so these are slip-ons.
My bed is just barely long enough for my feet to go in right here.
Well, you could scrunch your head up higher. Oh, you mean because they're tall. His feet are too tall to go under.
This thing needs to be cut off about 3 inches.
What if you took that thing out?
So you have to bend your feet sideways to get them.
That would be horrible if you took it out because we don't have a wall back there. So anyway, that's Peyton's set of luggage I got to take in for his graduation present. And my new mats are perfect for I have to fix them better, but now they run the whole distance of the place to cover the carpet. And I'm crocheting another couch tissue cover. I'm doing it in black. This one's going to be in black. So, but I went to Walmart to get more yarn, and the favorite yarn they didn't have any more of.
The one with the sparkles in it.
Yeah, that teal one. They were out of it, so I didn't get to get it, but we'll go to Idaho Falls one day and get it. Did they have your fish food that you wanted?
I got the flake stuff, but not the pellet stuff.
So we have to go to Idaho Falls to get the pellets.
I still got another pet star going to tomorrow.
Oh.
We'll wait and see.
That's right. And so the party was fun. Well, as fun as...
It was kind of windy.
It was very windy. And we had to wear coats. So it wasn't really meant for old people like us, though, because they were playing, games.
Well, it's all these teenage boys and
for the graduating kids. So we didn't, and get involved in that, and we didn't know anybody, so we couldn't really visit with anybody except for Emily's husband's brother was there, but I didn't really have much to say to him. So we could go into Emily's house. It's unlocked, but we'd rather just be out here. Would you rather go in?
No, it's fun sitting here.
Yeah, we like to be out here because we have our beds with clean sheets, and we have a bathroom and we have food, but we're not hungry. We ate there.
You do have to give Peyton his present.
Yeah, we do have to
his graduation thing.
And I'll take it in, and we'll go visit in there when they get back. But they have school tomorrow, those little kids and stuff. There's school tomorrow, so we can't keep them up too late. Well, we don't want to be up too late anyway, because we got up early to travel here, and now we're tired, aren't we? And I'm reading a really good book. Do you ever watch that Michael King, and he makes the show Profiling Evil. And so he wrote this book about his ancestor. She knew no fear. And she came across from Scotland or somewhere, Liverpool, on a ship, and came across the ocean and up to the Gulf of Mexico into the Mississippi River, and went up, and then got on the Pioneer Trail. Oregon Trail. So anyway, it's a really good book. I don't know why she knew no fear. The true story of a frontier woman whose murder was left unsolved for 120 years. Does that mean he solved it? Because, he's a retired detective guy. Anyway, I saw him advertise it on his show because he wrote another new book too. So I ordered it from somewhere. I can't remember. Anyway, so I've been reading it. So now I don't want to socialize. I just want to read my book, and that's rude. When you travel here, you shouldn't just sit out in your RV reading. You got to go in there. And what are you doing on your little thing?
Just playing games.
Turn it around and show him what game you're playing. He's a gamer. No, it's just solitaire. Do you win every time?
Probably 80% of the time.
What are you winning? Nothing.
Same as what you win, nothing.
Nothing. That's why I say if I'm watching a stupid show but I'm crocheting, at least I'm getting something done when it's done. But if I, do those games, then when I'm done, I did nothing. Wasted time. Is your finger getting hurt when you play too long? Does your finger hurt?
No.
Does your neck hurt from looking down?
I did get to stop at the Fossil Butte National Monument.
Yeah, I thought about videoing it, but I didn't. Was there anything to video in there?
A lot of fossil fish.
Fossil Butte.
And they had fossil crocodiles and fossil turtles.
Who owns it?
Stuff. The government owns that.
But they had a school there, a field trip. The kids were in there.
Yeah, they had a whole school bus full of little kids. They all given them papers in there, and they were going around filling out the papers, and then they had to sign their names and turn them in.
Oh.
And they were asking the rangers questions.
So I couldn't really film in there with those little kids, because you're not supposed to film little kids.
They did have 2 books on the Green River Formation in there, but one of them was about $100. The other one was about a $50 book.
Do you know the name of it? Maybe you could look on eBay and find it cheaper.
And
used.
I decided not to spend money because I've already got 2 other books on those things. Covers the same stuff.
Was it more pictures or reading?
It had a lot of pictures of the fossils they found, but it had a lot of reading too, telling about it. If I'd wanted a real complete library about the Green River Formation, I would have bought them, but I'm too old to want to take time to study them.
And he fixed his window blind over here. He got it back up. Thank you.
This one was always up on our trip.
Well, you told me you fixed the window blind. Which one was it?
I fixed that shield around outside, that new one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the blinds in the window here.
No, I got that shield that was in
That
there
we
by my
cracked.
chair.
All right. That's good, Jamie.
I fixed it.
He's always doing stuff. He isn't a sluffer. Do you procrastinate? No.
Sometimes.
No, you don't. Neither one of us.
Like yesterday, I was supposed to spray and do a whole bunch of things, and then the wind was blowing. And
you told me you were up spraying. I told them he's up spraying.
I was supposed to come home and spray some more. There's a few dandelions I missed down on the bottom. I was going to go get them. And I don't know, there's things like I could start working on the solar heater. And
I saw the pump in.
yeah, I got the pump put in there, but there's a lot of things I could do, but I kind of procrastinated yesterday.
Oh, you do not. Jamie and I
The
both.
last half of the day, I just goofed off and slept. So
Jamie and I are not procrastinators, I don't think. Because it bugs us. Does it bug you too much? It just bugs me. I got to get it done or I can't watch TV or anything.
yeah, if I've got spraying to do and it's a beautiful day and there's no reason I can't be out there,
you can't just...
I can't waste the time just to sit around and not do it.
And play solitaire. I know. You can rest, but you got to after you're rested, you got to get up and do it. Get up and do it. So...
yeah, but when you're old like me, I lay down and rest, and then it takes me another half hour to get able to walk again.
What about breathe? What about breathing?
That's the way my dad was too. He said it's better if he just keeps moving all the time and keeps going rather than stopping, because it's so hard to get going again, make your muscles work and stuff. That's kind of the way I'm finding it.
Which muscles hurt the worst?
Which ones don't hurt? That's an easy question.
Oh.
My dad, let's see, what was I going to say? It seems like it just takes so long to get once you start working them, and they start working again, but they're so stiff and hurting when you first start.
No, I asked your dad one time, because he was hurting and stuff. I said, well, do you just want to stay in bed all day? And he said, no. It hurts too bad when I lay down. And it hurts too bad when I get up, but it hurts worse when I'm just laying down in bed.
I know mine. When I lay down to go to sleep, then everything starts to hurt. And then I take it for a while, and then I can't stand it, and then I have to get up, and then I can't walk, and then it takes a while to get to walk. It just really sucks.
What about your breathing?
It sucks getting old.
What about your breathing?
I don't know, the oxygen thing in my nose seems like it's kind of burning inside my nose a little bit. I might have the oxygen turned up too strong. I don't know.
People say, though, that I should be more worried about you because you're sweating and you can't breathe. But if I say you're not doing anything, you have to sit in your chair, what would you tell me? Be honest.
Yeah, if I can't sitting in the chair, I didn't catch your question.
Because you weren't listening, were you? I said, the people on here think that I should be taking you to the emergency room, taking you to the doctor because you're sweating and you can't breathe and you need to go to the doctor. And I would say, go sit in the chair. You're not doing anything today. And what would you say?
I'm not. Having a heart attack, having a bad sweat is a sign of a heart attack. But when you're low on oxygen like me, any over-exercise makes you sweat. It's not that type of sweat's not a heart attack. I don't know. I'm not.
How's your breathing right now?
Well, I breathe a little harder and deeper all the time now than what I used to.
Faster?
And after I work a little bit, I really start breathing fast, yeah. But
oh, so what is your biggest complaint? Leg cramps, numb feet, the heart, the breathing. What is the biggest wish that you could fix so the problem wouldn't be with you?
One of my biggest problems is a weakness in my legs, and the other big problem is that I'm just really lightheaded and dizzy all the time. And so you're just kind of like walking around in a fog, half dizzy, and it's not really a regular dizziness. It's just like you're on the verge. When people get on the verge of passing out and you can feel you're almost to pass out, that's kind of the way it feels, like you're having to live your whole life that way. It's just...
Are you worried about yourself?
Well, it's the cards that Heavenly Father dealt me. I can't... There was no way of catching the problem in time to have fixed it before the heart damage happened, so...
Are you scared of dying?
See, I had an operation a month before I had the big heart attack, and they didn't... All the monitoring and everything they did, they didn't pick up the big problem in my heart at the time, so there was no signs. We had no signs of any problem until it happened, and then I didn't even know it happened. The heart attack probably should have killed me, but it was so weird. It was a way I didn't even know that was the heart attack, where most people, their symptoms would let them know that they were having a heart attack. I had no feeling, no pain, no nothing. I just kind of thought I went to sleep and woke up a little bit and went about. But I'd told that I could tell that I had sweated really hard, and which is not normal.
And you woke up.
And when I woke back up, it was kind of like I just fell asleep and woke up.
That's passing out.
No, it's when you fall asleep, it's a little different than when you pass out. You know you're going out, but this time I just laid down and closed my eyes because I was feeling short of breath, and so I was trying to catch my breath, and then I just went unconscious, and then I woke up later. I thought I'd fallen asleep, but anyway, there was no pain. The only sign that told the doctors that that was the heart attack was that I had the profuse sweating while I was asleep. It was like I was just asleep, and then, like I said, there was never any pain, which most people have when they have a heart attack. And then I went ahead and just worked for a whole year after that without even thinking anything had happened. And then when they finally made me go in and check my heart out and get the angiogram, they found out I didn't have hardly any blood going in my heart at all. But I'd been that way a whole year, so...
Were you surprised when they told you that?
Yeah, I had no idea that there's been anything wrong, yeah. I didn't have the regular heart symptoms or any of the things from a heart attack.
And what did they tell you after surgery? You would feel like...
Oh, yeah, they all said, oh, now you're getting your blood back into your heart. You're going to feel like a new man. No, they never did. From the time I had the surgery, it was just all downhill, feeling worse and worse and worse.
Does your chest hurt anymore where they crack it open?
Yeah, I've got a hernia here on my chest. When I cough, a little bubble pops out.
We've told the doctors everything, and he's under doctor's orders right now, all the medications and everything. They can't do any more for him.
Well, the biggest problem this spring, my heart's been in AFib the whole spring, and
Well, since Christmas.
Since Christmas, yeah.
And they gave him medicine to regulate it, but it's not regulating.
And then the tests show that my heart's not putting out as good as it did last year.
Are people nicer to you because they think you're in your last years? Are you scared of dying?
No, I already had an out-of-body experience. I know what dying is, and coming back, I came back.
So what's the worst part about it, do you think?
Staying here and being in pain.
You're supposed to say, the worst part will be leaving you, Angela.
Yeah, not wanting to leave you, but...
I have to give him a will to live. They say that if you are married and happily married, that you live longer than if you're miserably alone.
I have a big mystery in physics. I've been working on it for 6 years now, trying to solve. And I tell everybody I don't want to die until I solve that mystery.
So I'm hoping he never solves it, so then you won't die. If you solve it, then you're going to be dead.
No, it doesn't mean I have to die just because I solve it.
Well, at least we passed the test of the trust. You've heard of those people who go, we finished our trust and he died the next day. So we finished our trust and you lived. You're still alive, so that's a good thing.
I haven't melded the new stuff in with the old that I've got to do to...
Are you happy with it now? Do you think all your possessions are going to go okay?
Well, I've given you a lot more freedoms. I'm not sure I'm 100% trusting and all that, but...
That is rude.
I know.
You've been married to me long enough. He thinks I'll spend his whole fortune on Teemu. Is that what you're worried about? Teemu doesn't have much left for me to buy. I can't find anything to buy. Stupid stuff left. I got everything I needed.
I don't think you'll spend a fortune on Teemu. I think you'll just sell the land that I want to give to my son and go on 100 cruises with it or something.
I won't want to go on cruises alone. And this cruise will probably be our last cruise because it's expensive. And we probably by September, we're going to be older. And after we get back, we'll be about dead from being gone all that time from home, away from your home.
We might take a Mediterranean cruise someday.
They're long.
I know. I want to cruise clear around the Mediterranean to see all the whole thing there.
Water looks the same. The ocean looks the same, whether it's the Pacific or the Atlantic.
Did you know the Mediterranean Sea has the oldest ocean floor in it?
Yeah, I knew that.
Of all the oceans, that's the oldest.
I knew that from my studies.
Oh, I'm sure you knew that. You're always trying to say stuff like that.
Honey, you know that I'm smarter than you think I am. I am. I know it.
You're smarter in most things
Than you are.
except for the scientific stuff.
I'm not interested in it. Just like you're not interested in sewing.
I know.
I try to say, do you want to learn how to crochet? You want to try it for a little bit and see if you could do it? And what do you say?
Nope.
See? So it's the same thing. We both have our own interests. At least we're interested in each other still. Would you ever want to be divorced?
No, I hated living alone when my first wife died.
Oh, so you want a woman in your life at all times?
Just
Does that mean if I died first, you're going to find a new wife?
Just to have companionship is all.
If I died, then you're going to go find somebody
No,
else.
I'm too old.
She wouldn't want you because of your heart problem. And she would say, you're going to die on me. I don't want you. Now, some women are looking for some old man, so they'll die and they get their fortune. So you better be careful.
Sometimes I like to get foot massages and stuff when they're numb and tingly. And I only get about half enough out of them.
You're not getting one.
You.
You're not getting one tonight. I didn't bring the shea butter for your feet. Well, it's because you come to bed too late at night. If you would come to bed earlier when I wasn't so tired, I would give you a foot massage. But when you come to bed at 11 and I'm on the verge of sleeping, I can't do it.
Yeah, when you ask what my biggest problems are, the neuropathy in my legs and the dizzy, out of balance.
Those are your worst.
In my head's all. If I look up, I tip over backwards. Just
don't look up then.
I just don't have any balance. When I used to could walk on rough ground and run through the sand.
Okay, remember that beam going from the balcony over to the windowsill and you had a board up there and you were walking across it to go. Could you do that now?
No.
What about my bedroom ceiling, how you climbed up and down that ladder and looked up and did all those boards? Could you do that now?
I can't do that kind of stuff. I can't look up any.
Oh, honey.
They wanted me to go out and look up for the northern lights the other day. My son Todd called and said, run out there, Dad, and look at the lights. I went out there and looked up to see if I could see the northern lights and about fell over.
You got to lay on the ground.
Yeah, if I have to do any star watching, I guess I'll have to just lay down.
Lay on the ground.
Lay on the ground, get one of our couch mats and put down there and lay on it.
No, you're not taking my couches out there.
No, I mean the ones, those big long cushions that are
on the patio furniture.
On the patio furniture.
Well, lay in the patio bed thing. That would be good.
I don't know.
What was your favorite age to be that you ever were?
I felt the very best in my entire life when I was a teenager at about 18 years old, 18 or 19.
You weren't married, though. You were alone.
I know. It's when I was a teenager running around with kids my own age. We got where we'd jump over the cars. Then we jumped sideways over them. That was pretty easy. Then I found out that we could jump endways over them.
You could have killed yourself.
Then I could do all kinds of back flips and front flips, and I don't know, I just had really good coordination and everything, like a gymnastic type of person would have. And I just felt energetic and nothing hurt.
And you hiked all over the mountains.
I could run up and down the mountains and leave everybody in the dust. Those days are long gone. Can't do it anymore.
Well, at least you have the memories that you did it.
I know I have the memories of doing it, but it would be so neat to have that kind of energy and that kind of coordination and that kind of balance and everything else.
But he did buy his hunting license. So you have hope of hiking up the hill on your four-wheeler.
There are drawings I put in for the drawings. Not guaranteed that I'm going to. Hopefully I'll get at least one.
To fill the freezer for
so
the family potlucks.
A family meat for filling the freezer.
It's the only way we're going to get a roast. Because we can't afford to buy him $20 for a roast for Sunday dinner.
Last year I had one of those late elk license tags, and I'd go up and check for tracks and everything, and there was almost never any tracks anywhere on my ranch. The minute I crossed the Idaho border and went up onto Idaho, there was hundreds of them up in there.
See, now, some people...
It's just like they knew not to cross the Wyoming border.
But see, nobody's up there. Some people would have shot it and drug it over the line.
Well,
but Jamie doesn't do that because he's too honest.
It would be illegal to do that.
He would never do that because he's so honest. He can't. What if your family was starving?
Well, if your family's starving, then you take drastic measures
to bring home the bacon.
You can't stand around and watch your family die of starvation.
But we have plenty of food. We have to be vegetarians, though.
Now, if that whole big herd of elk had just crossed into Wyoming and been on my
Couldn't you
ranch,
have a partner that went around and scared them over the border? Would that work?
Yeah, but they claim that's kind of
illegal
too. Illegal
it's like baiting them, putting out bait.
Because, see, you have no right to pursue or chase the elk in Idaho.
Oh.
Because you only have a Wyoming license. So to get a big gang to go over there and drive the herd over to you probably would be considered illegal.
Well, what if you said, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going for a walk, and I was walking home, and then there they were.
But when I went up that one day and just saw that big, massive, massive herd, it's the biggest single one herd of elk I've ever seen hunting. I've seen big herds like that out on the big feed grounds when they've all, but I've never seen it actually in the wild hunting that way. And I had the opportunity. I could have taken my camera out and filmed it, and I've, been mad at myself ever since that I didn't take my camera out
your
and at
phone.
least take a picture of it.
Well, what about the woman who said, I could never shoot anything that looks me in the eye?
Well, if it's close enough to look you in the eye, it's close enough you can kill it in one shot.
But you don't have that problem?
Well, there's these bloodthirsty people that go out there and just kill anything for the sake of killing. I do it out of the need to get meat for the family and stuff.
So
we're
he's
not just going to kill stuff for needlessly.
What about the voles?
Well, I kind of killed those, but I had a need to get rid of them.
You didn't kill enough of them. What about skunks?
Well, as long as they stay away from me, I don't mind. But when they start trying to crawl underneath your buildings and stuff and bugging you, I don't like them.
Badgers. Beavers. Beavers that make
Any
dams.
Any of them can be a nuisance if they're starting to cause trouble.
Squirrels.
The beavers down on our old trout ranch would back up the river and flood half the hay field, and then we'd have to get the game and fish to come down with their dynamite and blow the dams out.
So even they do destructive things.
So if you get...
Terminate them.
But then if beavers are off in the streams up in the mountains and stuff, I don't care if they're making dams and making little puddles and everything up there.
Okay.
But just all depends on if they're doing stuff that's hurting your property or doing damage. So
Okay, so what if I die and you're alone and somebody brings you a little puppy to keep you company? What will you do?
I'll just tell them to take it back.
A little kitty that's going to get your voles for you. Will you keep it and hold it and pet it? You're thinking about it. Would you want one then?
If you can get the cats and just make them wild so they live in your back of your shed somewhere and you don't have to mess with them, and let them just feed themselves on the mice and voles and stuff, then cats aren't too bad. But if they're trying to turn into house cats where they're running in your door every time you open the door and begging for food all the time, they can get to be kind of a pain.
Tripping you, trying to trip you. What about, don't you feel comfort holding one and petting it? Like when you're in the rest home.
I don't mind petting the cats. It's just...
Like when you're in the rest home and they'll bring a comfort dog in there for everyone to pet and it helps everybody in the rest home. Is it going to help you?
No, I don't need that. When I was milking cows and living on the dairy and everything, we had quite a few cats, and they'd just live up in the haystack or up in the top of the old barn and things like that, and they just fed themselves. They kept the mice down. Cats are good that way.
Did you name them?
No. We just knew what they looked like when we see them. But
did you pet the cows? Do they like to be petted?
Well, most of the cows, we didn't have them tame enough. If you take and halter them and lead them around like they do the 4-H animals, you can get them tame enough to do stuff. But
yeah, but you had cows that you milked that were tamer than others. They knew where to go in and every day.
No, they all know how to go. They go in the stall and they know they're going to get grain.
But do they like you to touch them and pet them?
Well, there's about a third of the cows were eager and pushing their way in to get into the barn. There was about a third of them that didn't mind going in, and they'd go in when everything cleared out to where there was space for them. And then we had about a third of them that hated it. And toward the end, you have to go drive them in.
Did you have favorite cows, though? Like, did you feel love for them, even?
Yeah, the ones that were more gentle and the ones that were good milkers. And
did they like you?
The ones that were easy. Some of them were easy to milk and some were harder to milk.
Did they like you, do you think? Any of them?
When I was young, I had my pet cow that Dad gave us each a cow. And mine was named Seven. She had a big white 7 in her forehead. And then I'd feed her candy, like Lifesavers and things. She liked those. And then sometimes they used to pasture down below the river, and we'd have to drive them across the river, and sometimes I'd jump on her back and get a ride across the river.
She liked it?
Well, if she hadn't been real tame, she wouldn't have let me do it. But the other non-tame cows, they would have took off bucking and wouldn't have let you do it.
So if you and your brother were walking there, could she tell you apart?
I don't know, I guess. She'd let you go up and she liked to be scratched behind the ears and on her neck and stuff.
Oh, she did. So they did like it?
Well, you fed one calf.
Yeah, Elsie.
Elsie got where she'd follow you around, and
she got too big and bunt me because she
and if you wouldn't give her food, she'd bunt you,
knock me over, and I got scared of her. But she knew me. She knew the red car too.
She was just rooting at you, trying to get you to give her something.
I know. So do you miss the cows?
No,
And Jamie learned. He taught him. He called them. Say what you called them, how you called them, and they came running.
Yeah, all the other farmers and dairy people around, they'd always go out there. Our neighbor up the road from us had he was always riding these horses, and he had these cattle dogs and blue heelers or whatever. And every time they were putting cattle from one pasture to the other or doing anything, they always had to have their dogs go out and chase them from one pasture to the other. But early on, especially in the winter when you're feeding them and everything, we had 2 or 3 pastures, and we'd put hay out in one pasture. I just got the cows learned that every time I called them, I just say, "Come cows, come cows."
Real loud.
Yeah, I'd say it real loud. But every time I'd call, the cows would know that I was bringing them to turn them into new feed. And so some cows, the minute they heard that, they took off running toward me.
And the copycats would follow.
And then all the others said, "Oh, those cows, there's something growing on." So they'd try to follow the other cows, and then it didn't take you very long to teach the cows. And so anytime you wanted to take your cows anywhere, you'd call them and they'd follow you. And all the other people were there chasing their cows around and driving them because they never taught them to follow.
But Jamie was I always said, call him. And he wouldn't do it unless he really was.
I know, because you can't
tricking them.
Call them and trick them that way, or they learn that you're not getting.
They might not trust you.
They're not going to get the food, so you don't call them unless you give them food, and then that's how you train them.
So he would never do it with tricking them. Cry wolf. That means cry wolf. He always had something, grain, hay, a new field. They loved going into a new field.
Sometimes when you're feeding them hay and stuff, and we had big round bales and we had to pack them out with a tractor, they'd see you coming with the hay, and then they'd come running after the hay, and then you didn't have a chance to call them. But it's a lot of times, like for Sunday and everything, we'd feed Saturday and Sunday in 2 different pastures, and then for Sunday, all I had to do is open the gate and call the cows, and they just always got new, nice hay and feed when they got called. So
that worked for the ranch cows, but for milking, he still had to milk them on Sunday.
We had, the milk cows come too.
I know, but you did that in the field so you wouldn't have to work on Sunday. You just open the gate for them to come, and you wouldn't have to feed them.
During the winter time when you're feeding, I'd do the Sunday feeding. And
when you milk them, you never have a day off, because they don't stop giving milk 1 day a week or anything.
So like I said, if I were to call the cows to come in to get grain, to get milk, there'd be a third of them that would love coming in, and a third of them that would maybe come in, a few of them, and there'd be about a third of them that wouldn't come. So you had to drive them into the kraal to hold them. It's a holding pen that you hold them in while you're getting ready to milk them.
Did you like to drink warm cow milk right out of the cow?
No, that's gross.
Is it richer, though, because the cream's in it?
No.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with it other than it's just warm straight out of the cow. It's
100
times better tasting once it is cooled.
What about hot chocolate? You warm it.
Well, you get the chocolate taste, not the cow taste.
Oh. Okay.
We do drink warm milk and stuff when we poached eggs and stuff in them.
Yeah.
We used to make poached eggs. And
I poached eggs in water. He poaches eggs in milk.
No, we poach it in the milk.
My grandma always did water.
And then you got to put salt and pepper. You got to have pepper in that. Pepper's the key ingredient to poached eggs.
When was the last time you had any?
It's been a while.
It has been. All right. I think we've kept the people, if they're still watching, long enough. They wanted me to interview sometimes, so this will be the interview. Morning talk show interview.
Yeah, well, I'm getting to the point where I could do hundreds of things. I'm getting down to where I can't hardly do anything anymore.
I know it's sad, but at least you're Getting to still travel, right?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt driving the tractor, driving cars, driving stuff. That's
Oh, you
not
can be
hard.
dizzy and still do that. Your four-wheeler, if you're dizzy, it doesn't bother you?
No, it's easier to drive a car than the four-wheeler now.
Because of dizziness?
Well, yesterday or the other day when I went up on the BLM, the road was so rough I was getting kind of jostled too much.
Oh, because you ache all over and then it was hurting your aches or
I don't know
something?
if it's that good on my heart
Maybe it'll get back into fibrillation.
to jog it
Defibrillate.
around like that. But
It will bounce it back to order. Whatever. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna go home tomorrow, and there's a Teemu order waiting for me tomorrow. Jamie, so are you excited?
No, it's pretty common. I don't worry about it
No,
that
he
much.
hates when I get packages. Just admit it. You're not. They won't tell Teemu what you think.
Well, it's just like on most of the things, like your dresses and everything. I know it's fun to buy them and have new dresses and model them and all that kind of stuff, but
I don't need them.
you're almost out of room. I don't know where you're going to keep putting them if you just keep buying them. And I know you're never going to wear half of them, so you got so many dresses now.
I rotate them. This summer, I'm gonna be wearing a lot of
Well, you
them.
rotate them and
Winter,
stuff, but
summer. Well, what
you
Jamie?
really don't have a need
No,
to
I
buy
don't.
more.
No, I don't. Or shoes, or purses, or jewelry.
And when you get to the point where you run out of room, then I don't see the purpose.
What should I buy then for the people to see on Teemu? The gifts for the grandkids or something. What have you looked at the men's stuff on there? Do they have good men's stuff?
I don't look on Teemu and stuff.
How come you don't like clothes? New clothes. New things. How come?
I don't mind getting new clothes and getting rid of the ones that don't fit, but when I have 10 or 15 shirts and I only wear half that many most of the time, I usually get my favorite ones and just wear those.
I know.
Then when they get wore out, then I have to get a new favorite one. But
How come? What would you say the reason is? You're not very good at matching pants with shirts.
in the most place, I don't like trying them on.
Like, why do you get black pants and then you don't get a black kind of shirt? You get a blue one. Like, do you think what color will match these pants best? Does that think in your mind?
And I've got some clothes that I think are black, and you say they're blue. So
Maybe. And what about
they're
shoes?
so dark you can't even call
How
them
come you
blue.
don't want to wear your new shoes? You always just want to wear your old shoes. Why?
I don't know. I just wear the ones that are the easiest to slip on and feel the best.
Okay. Okay, now what about, do you want people to think, oh, he looks nice today? Did you ever think of that? Does your mind think that way?
If I'm going to a party or something where there's a lot of people, I like to look halfway decent.
But what about if you're like up at your ranch and you might see the neighbors? Do you think you're looking kind of scroungy for that?
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't care?
You can answer your phone.
I'll call him back. So it's more fun to interview you than it is to talk to somebody on the phone that maybe I don't want to talk to them. You're worried?
I'm getting so feeble, I'm kind of a pathetic excuse for a person now. So
That you don't ever say that about yourself. That's rude. Don't say that. You're still valuable.
Compared to what I used to could do, I'm kind of worthless.
But now you're just a world of brain of knowledge.
Yeah,
and
but when my son's
your wisdom.
trying to build a building, I'd like to be able to go help him, and when I won't be able to help my kids like my dad did me.
They need to help you. It's time for them to help you now. Maybe.
I don't think I'll live as long as my dad and
How old was he?
family. He was 94 and a half when he died.
You have to tell people that because they don't know. And your mother died, and then how much farther along did your dad die?
Well, my dad was 5 years older than my mom, and my mother died at 89. I don't know how many months more than 89 something.
And how much longer did it take for the dad to die?
And he was 5 years older, and 2 weeks after Mom died, Dad died. He stayed around just long enough to make sure she got buried
And he died in his sleep one night.
take care of her, and then he didn't have any purpose to live anymore after that. That's kind of the way I feel. I want to stay around to help take care of you till you die, and then
You will want to bury me?
then I won't have any purpose after that. So then
And my dad did the same thing. He buried my mom, and then
But your dad lasted.
Yeah, he lived longer than.
Quite a while after your mother died. But
so do you?
With my heart problem, though, I think that's not going to work out. I'm going to be the one that ends up.
Because your dad didn't have the heart. But we don't know. I could die in a car wreck. I could get cancer. I could, kill over with a heart attack myself. Who knows?
Yeah, my dad's family didn't have any bad hearts or anything like that, but my mother's family all had bad hearts. I got my bad heart from my mother on her side of the family.
Because how old was your dad when he died? Your grandpa?
54. He died 2 years before I was born, so
He never
got to ever see him other than pictures of him.
Yeah, that's sad. It's all about in the genes, hereditary, in the genes.
Well, that's what the doctor said about my plugged arteries. They said it was all genetic. Wasn't a cholesterol problem like most people have.
His diet wouldn't have helped him.
No, they said I didn't have very much cholesterol in my arteries.
Tell him what you bought at Walmart that you're so excited for.
2 watermelon.
And
I don't know.
And
a whole bunch of corn.
Corn. They had corn on the cob. Corn
on the cob. I got 12.
33 cents each.
Heads.
Where do you think it grew? It was grown from?
I don't know. When I go at the treehouse now with friends and people, I can take corn up there and roast it on the grill and
serve
have that as part of the menu.
All right.
And then I've got asparagus to roast we have a big grill thing that holds it together, and you can flip it over.
Smashes it in, and you just have to turn the whole thing at once. But you have to put them the right way in the screen.
You got to put them crossways on the screen, not lengthways.
Where is that? Is it up at the treehouse or is that home?
I think it's up the treehouse, but I might buy a new one too if I can find a good one.
Oh, all right.
And then I might do shish kebabs, but I want to find out if the little skewer things are up to the treehouse or if we have them at home.
The metal ones? Yeah.
Are they up to the treehouse or home?
I don't know either. I saw a couple up there with the, when we were making s'mores.
Whoops, I dropped my phone.
The s'mores sticks, and there were a couple s'more sticks there. Shish kebab sticks there. All righty.
I might have to go up and bring them home and make sure they're scrubbed up and washed and everything good.
And you need to marinate the meat, and that makes it much better when you do shish kebabs. All right, goodbye.